So what's going on, guys? It's Captain America. Hope you guys are well, and thank you for coming onto the channel. So again, starting off with the match stats for this game that you'll see. So we had in total 6 shots, and then against us was 5 shots. But overall, we had more passes. We were dominating them wherever we could. It was a high-scoring game. It was 3-0. Tough. Usually the first half, it was the case where we were dominating, passing around, but we couldn't get more goals than we should have. They were quite tight and quite rigid the way that they were playing as well, but overall we did play generally very strong defensively too. I did have a partner who I don't play with very regularly. He doesn't come online as much, so that was the first game with him for this game, and I'm glad that we did have a clean sheet. But yeah, so do enjoy the game, and overall my match ratings were 8.0 overall for the game. I won 6 times the possession and only lost it once, so again a very strong performance there, and then 1 tackle, 100% accuracy for that. So no, very glad for this, and again it puts us into a good position on the winning streak towards the title for Division 1. So no, let's see how it goes. So what we're going to be talking about in this video is just about the game tomorrow, the Champions League. You know, you got Liverpool versus Real Madrid, and just some Liverpool transfers that I do feel may happen from the summer with like what we're going to do with selling. So yeah, so just starting off with what I do predict being the lineup for tomorrow. So again, we've had a lot of injuries just, you know, with the league itself prior to the Champions League, which I thought is going to be a massive loss, especially them being key players. So with the likes of like Van Dijk back, we've got Fabinho as well, who was injured. He's going to be back. He was fully rested. Same with Salah. He did have some minutes and he did score a goal on the last Premier League game. So again, a good morale boost for him. So he is back as well. And then we've also got Thiago, who is he pulled a hammy. So I don't know. I'm a bit uncertain about him still. It's just unfortunate because he tends to get injured just always before like key finals, so I do hope that he does play. But the lineup that I do feel that Liverpool go for is of course Alisson in goal. And you got Robbo on the left, you got Van Dijk, you got Matip. I do feel he will go for Matip instead of Konate. Don't get me wrong, Konate is a fantastic player. He's had a great season with Liverpool, but he did make a slight error with his previous judgment, in which the ball came over his head. So that was a bit of a mistake in the previous Premier League game. But of course, he's partnered up with Matip, so it's a whole different centre-back partnership than he's used to with like Van Dijk. So I do feel he may go for like the experienced option of Matip and Van Dijk at the back, and then you got right, of course, being Trent, and then in the centre you've got Fabinho, you got Thiago, and then Keita. So I do hope Thiago will be fit, but that's the lineup. I do hope so. But if Thiago's not fit, then Hendo would be the logical person to replace him. And then up front, you know, Diaz, fantastic player in such great form at the moment for Liverpool. Both goals as well as assists. And then you got Mane, who's just a GOAT, like on another level this season. And of course, he has been rumoured to, you know, with his contract extension after the Champions League, he's going to decide what the decision is going to be, if he's going to be staying at Liverpool or looking at, you know, going into the market and seeing who's available. And one suitor is Bayern Munich, who, of course, as we know, have a phenomenal team as it is. So the decision with them is around Lewandowski. I do feel that he will move on to like Real Madrid. That'll be a really interesting move, especially with his age. But no, overall, let's see what happens with Mane. I do hope that he does stay. He did say just recently that, you know, there's some positive news around it, so I do hope that he does stay. Fantastic player. And then, of course, on the left, you got Salah, who, again, is going through contract extension talks. He did mention that he will be playing next season, so I don't know if that's going to be his final season, then shoot off to, like, I don't know, Real Madrid, which I do feel is, like, the logical move for him. But no, let's see what happens with that. But, of course, with Liverpool going against Real Madrid, who have absolutely been insane in the knockout stages. They were really bad in the group stages. They had a really easy table, and they got dealt with by this Moldovan team, Sheriff, 2-1 at home as well. So that was a shocking result for just generally, because I did not assume that they're going to progress. They were just so bad in the group stages. But then, of course, Real Madrid having that Real Madrid mentality, you know, they did progress quite well in the knockout stages, but of course having a lot of scares throughout. So of course with the likes of them being against PSG, which had the likes of Messi, Mbappe and Neymar, so they've done very well to overcome that. And then also Chelsea as well. So Benzema scored a hat-trick in that game. I think it was at Stamford Bridge. So again, a very, very strong performance overall for Real Madrid for both legs. And then again, Man City, as we know, they scored such quick fire goals, Real Madrid, in the last minutes of the dying second leg at Man City. So that at Madrid. So that was a very surprising game. But again, City just click off. They done the same against Aston Villa at home in the Premier League. They shouldn't have been losing by two goals. It was theirs to lose the Premier League, but again, they just switched back up and they won 3-2. But again, that's just Man City. They can't keep that consistent mentality. If Liverpool do go one goal, and we've seen it with the recent Premier League games against Wolves, for example, as well, where, or even Southampton, where we just came back when we were conceding and we scored 2 or 3 goals. So no, Liverpool overall glad with what they're doing. But with Real Madrid, they've got some fantastic players. They've got Vinicius Jr., who's just been on outstanding form this season. Outstanding, in La Liga itself, 35 games, 17 goals, and then 12 assists, which again is just a fantastic stat for a winger. And again, his pace, we saw it with like Fernandinho, how he just slides past the team quite quickly. So I think on the right, honestly, I think Trent will have a tough night with like pacey players. He does generally anyway. The way that we do play is very high line, so I do feel that Real Madrid will be exploiting that and just doing what Man City was when it was against Liverpool, trying to use the high line to their advantage and just counter with like long balls through the wing and just cutting through to the centre and scoring that way. So I feel that that's the tactic that Real Madrid will be using throughout the game, especially with Liverpool not going to change the high line. They've been using this throughout the entire season, and when we were losing games or drawing them, it was still a case, no, we're going to maintain and sustain the high line, but we're going to train on it. So it's worked for us, and we've done a fantastic season with the FA Cup as well as the Carabao. 1 point away from Man City on the league, and then Champions League as well. We're in the final, so we've played every single possible game this season. So it's just been exhausting for the boys as well. Vinicius Jr. will be interesting to see how things progress with him in this Champions League. But again, fantastic player for Madrid this season, and yeah, let's see what holds for him next season. And then of course you got the legend Benzema, who has been scoring hat-tricks for fun, as well as goals. So just a quick stat on him. So in La Liga, he had 32 games in total, 27 goals. With 12 assists. So again, a strong season. No matter how old he gets, he just seems to get better and better with his goals. And then again with the Champions League, 11 games and then 15 goals. The amount of goals that he scored in the knockout stages alone have been just absolutely insane. And he's formed a strong partnership with Vinicius Jr., so it's good to see that. But again, I just hope that Liverpool could, sustain it and work defensively and be strong. So I think it's going to be a tight game overall. I do feel that both teams will score. It may go into extra time, the way that Real Madrid play, but I don't know. I think it's going to be like 2-1. Because Liverpool have scored. They score goals for fun. They don't mess around. But then even when they concede, they don't concede much. So Real Madrid have that mentality of being, the Champions League winners, the strength that they have behind them from like all of the trophies that they've won in this bloody Champions League has just been insane. So that's what they're going to be bringing to the game. I think overall it's going to be, end to end. I do feel that Real Madrid will be countering as much as they can, as mentioned, using and exploiting Liverpool's high line. But no, I think, let's see, I think it's going to be interesting. As mentioned, I'm going to be in central London with some mates watching the game, so that's going to be really, really live. I do hope that Liverpool win. So, no, good luck to that. So, maybe tomorrow, let's see how it goes. I might do a video around like 2ish, 3ish, just prior to the game. Again, just thoughts around like what's actually happening. Maybe the finalisation of the lineup, just looking at, if someone like Thiago is fully fit or not. So, no, let's see how that goes. So, yeah, guys, finally moving on to the final topic on like Liverpool transfers and who I feel from the Liverpool squad will be moving. Just based on, let's say, their performance or appearances that they haven't had many, or just generally maybe injury plagued, such as, main man Ox, who has been fantastic for Liverpool whenever he does play. But again, he has now aged and he's been quite injury prone. And we did see that in Arsenal as well. But, with Liverpool now coming towards his latter ends of the contract, he's just been injury prone throughout. And again, he's not getting the appearances that he should. He has been pipped with like the starting lineup as well as those that are going to be subbed on with the likes of like Elliott as well as Curtis Jones. So Jurgen is utilising the youth, which is good to see. But no, I do feel like Ox, as mentioned in my previous video, will move into the likes of like either like West Ham or even Aston Villa. Both of them are rumoured to be, wanting to buy him. But I do feel he's a London boy, as he was an ex-Arsenal player. So I do feel that he'll make the wise move and go to West Ham, who have been performing very, very well, as mentioned in my previous video. So that wouldn't be a too bad of a move. Or even Aston Villa, who just signed Diego Carlos from like Sevilla, who's one of like the best strong centre backs that you'll get on Football Manager. So that was a very strange and surprising move. I expected him to like move to Newcastle, who were looking at buying him over like the January transfer, but the prices weren't being matched. I think they wanted like 38 mil or something like that at the time, Sevilla, but they could only do 30 Newcastle. So yeah, broke club in it. But no, let's see what happens with main man Ox. I think that'll be a really interesting one. Both clubs being rumoured are just fantastic, and I do feel Stevie G is going to do a main job with Aston Villa next season. So no, GG's to that. And then of course you got Origi, main boy, that we're going to build a statue for. He's gone to AC Milan, so good luck to him. Fantastic player, legend. So I do hope that he does, do well with AC Milan or even his future adventures in the football scene. So no, GG's to him. And then the youth side of things, so Nico Williams, who's on the right back side, so he was loaned off to Fulham. As we know, Fulham did get promoted back into the Premier League after a while. This is fantastic for them. But again, I think Nico Williams, he's going to be second fiddle to Trent. Trent is just insane, so of course he's not going to get subbed off. So I do feel that Nico Williams, if he's wise, I do feel he should move and stay within like Fulham. See how that goes in the Premier League and get the exposure, maybe do well and then move into like an actual mid-table Premier League team that's established. Like Leicester or something like that. That'll be really interesting. And then Mane, as mentioned earlier, let's see what happens with him. He did decide that after the actual Champions League, he'll make a decision. So no, let's see what's that, and then my thoughts on that too. And then Joe Gomez, who unfortunately was out injured in the game that he played as a right back just recently. It's just sad for him because he's a great player. He could play as a right back or a centre back, as we've seen in the past seasons. It's just unfortunate he gets injured quite a lot. Still very young. I do feel that Liverpool will offload him and just potentially maybe even look at a let's say right back that might be of experience, just to help Trent out with like different areas. I do hope that will be a good decision. And again, it allows Trent to rest up as well. Just someone that we could trust, because again, Milner's now so old, he can't keep running up and down in the right back position. So with Nico now going, and then Gomez, I do feel we should make a move and head him off somewhere, or even loan him off. I wouldn't mind that. So let's see what's decided for that. And then last one is the main boy Taki, who whenever he plays, he scores. he's been fantastic for Liverpool. But I do feel that it's time for him to move on. I don't feel he'll get the game time. Potentially, let's see what happens with the contract decisions with maybe like Salah. He did say he'll be staying until next season, but again, I don't think Taki will wait until then. So I think the logical move would be potentially in the Premier League or even in the German league. But if he was to stay in the Premier League, I think Southampton, who he was loaned off to, was a good move. So that'll be good. But no, let's see. I think we'll talk more once this transfer windows keeps bypassing. But coming to the end of the video, guys, thank you again so much for all your time. Those that are new, please do subscribe. I do thank you guys. Just do like and comment too. And those that are old and goldy, I do appreciate you guys as always. But yeah, I'll catch you guys on tomorrow's video. Take care and sayonara. Bye bye.